Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy. This is my brother, Michelle. And this is the Major Vibes Podcast Show, episode 17.
Is it 17 or
It's
18?
17 today.
You sure?
Yeah, positive.
Oh, wow, okay.
HIV positive.
Whoa,
Yeah.
holy jeez.
That's how positive.
That's pretty positive, my guy.
Okay, episode 17. Welcome to the show. We're going to start off today with our vibe scores. In second place out of 2, it's Andy with a 94 vibe score, and I am on a 10 or 11 day streak. Let's check here. 11-day streak. That's crazy.
Incredible.
Never done it in my... Actually, no, I have done it. I think at a year or two ago, I had a 17 days. But here we are.
That's amazing. That's a
11
new recent
days,
high.
Huge streak. And
What can you attribute this streak to?
consistent sleep patterns.
What time are you going to sleep?
10, 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because before I was used to going to, like in the winter time, probably around 9:30. And then for like a couple months, it was going like to like 11, 12, 1 a.m., 1:30. Like I was really going back to like my old ways when I was a teenager, like night owl type stuff.
yeah.
But when you're a night owl and a morning person, it doesn't work.
Yeah, because no matter what you do, you wake up at the same time.
Yeah. And even if I'm a night owl and I go to bed at 2 and I wake up in the morning, I feel great usually in the morning. But later
But
on,
there's a quick
about 3
decline.
hours into my day, I'm useless.
It's like you're running on adrenaline or something.
Yeah, but those first 2 hours are always good. Anyway, so that, the 8 sleep mattress, which was really a game changer. Not eating a lot of crap. That usually helps.
And forever, you were stuck in, you were not eating breakfast or lunch.
No. I was fasting, intermittent fasting for like years and years and years. Maybe almost 10.
No, not that long.
8 years. I started fasting when I was like fat.
Yeah, and then I guess you just didn't go back.
I never went, like I would still cheat every now and then. Like I would have lunch and stuff. Like I wasn't that serious about it, but definitely over the last year, I just wasn't very hungry. I wasn't hungry and I was eating a lot less. I didn't feel the need to eat that much. And I lost a bunch of weight. So maybe that was it. I think I was just malnourished.
I think so, because you're running on fumes by that point.
Yeah.
And your body, when you're fasting, is actually in a state of constant stress, like actual stress. Like
Yeah.
So that could make sense of why you were not feeling good, while your stress tolerance was super low.
My stress meter was always pretty high. So anyway, 94 for me, 96 for you today.
Hell yeah.
You're not on a big streak.
No,
No,
I had a couple blues.
Yeah, you had a couple of blues this week.
Well deserved.
But your blue day is like you made your average so high that even when you have a blue day, like you haven't had a score under 70, let's say. Maybe that's something we should also highlight.
I haven't had a score under 80.
Whatever it is.
No, but the 2 days I had blue, because now it's easy for me to get 90 plus
Mhm.
if I'm just standard routine in bed by 9:15 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't garden too much,
Mhm.
because I gardened on those blue days. All my blue days and all my
gardened?
last 3 blue days were gardening and snacking.
Well, it's funny because on your big streak that you had 30 days or something, you were doing some gardening daily almost.
Yes, but it was different because it was very controlled and my diet was perfect.
Ah.
So regardless of any gardening, I was done eating at 7 and my macros were 100.
Any highlights in the junk food this weekend?
I was eating peanut butter in the spoon, with the spoon, straight from the jar.
What peanut butter are we talking? We talking not Kraft. America doesn't have Kraft.
No,
Jif?
no,
We're going Whole Foods organic.
No, the Sprouts one that tastes like Jif.
Okay, cool.
The one that you recommended, or maybe you
That
did.
was Whole Foods.
Okay.
365.
It tasted exactly the same.
Good?
Yeah, it's good.
Was it like liquidy in there?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
I
It
hate
was-
when that happens.
yeah, I don't like it.
Okay.
So it was super dry, but excellent. But every time I eat more than a tablespoon of peanut butter, it wreaks havoc on my stomach, destroys my HRV.
Every time I eat more than a tablespoon of peanut butter, I feel like a superhero.
Okay, well, different strokes for different folks. But we had tacos on Saturday, and they were amazing. And I gardened like crazy.
Some days you just need it. Some
Yeah,
days-
so a little refresh. But now I was like, okay, now I'm out of the streak zone like twice. Time to get back. So no gardening. Because
Okay.
on my huge streak, I stopped halfway.
Okay. I find
Then I get bored, and I wanna feel that little spice of life.
yeah, it's nice to, especially when you're very disciplined, it's nice to cut it for a little bit and just,
Have a Bella Vita.
sometimes I wake up in the morning like yeah, and I'm just like, no, today I don't care what my score is. Tomorrow I don't care what I do. I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna eat anything in my path today. I don't care if it's toxic or not.
Isn't it funny though that you've kind of been doing that during this streak of yours?
Not a lot, but this weekend this weekend, like I did, it definitely did not deserve some of these scores because and you say don't say that, but literally this weekend, like I was even trying not to get a good score. I was at the grocery store and I was browsing through the aisles. I don't normally buy like cookies and stuff in the aisles. Like I try to keep my groceries pretty clean. I want to have junk, like it'll be at the movies.
Yeah, you choose your moments.
Yeah, but this weekend I was like, no, I wanna be a child and I want milk and cookies. None of that old milk garbage, almond milk. Like, give me some whole real milk. So I got some real milk, and I saw Oreos. I love Oreos, double stuffed. None of that single stuffed crap.
I love all Oreos.
Me too. So Oreos I saw, but it was a limited Oreos s'mores edition. So like the two cookie pieces were like graham cracker Oreo, and inside was chocolate and marshmallow or white, whatever it was, man. So I bought that, and every single bite was just the best thing ever, and dominated that over 2 days. So
Okay.
controlled myself because
You killed the whole box?
in 2 days, yeah,
Okay, wow.
Friday, Saturday.
That's some good calories.
Yeah, but the thing is, normally I'll do one box in the whole day, and I could have done that, and I was like, no, like I'm good here.
And this weekend, like, let's set the stage. There was Grand Prix, there was F1, right? And there was the Masters of like 4 days of golf.
Yeah, so this weekend, I like to say I was fully integrated into the Matrix this weekend. Like, and I was really looking forward to it. Like, you live in Arizona, it's sunny every day, it's beautiful, it's amazing. You just usually want to be outside. It's the best time of the year, also before the crazy heat in the summer. So you'd think I'd be spending my weekends outside. No, this weekend it was the Masters, so 4 days straight of golf, probably 5 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I was working at the same time on my laptop doing some stuff, but I always had the Masters on. And then there was F1 weekend. And that was it. It was just one of those weekends where I just wanted to chill. And like, I knew that the following week was going to be a busy one because one, we have a lot of work to do. Two, we have people in town this week and next week. And there's Easter this weekend. So like chaos. So this weekend was just a very chill thing. I snacked. I ate a lot of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I had a lot of kiwis. Yeah. So it was nice.
Kiwis I find so annoying to eat.
I don't find them annoying to eat. I find them annoying to cut,
Yes.
peel, whatever.
Yeah, it's almost like the juice ain't worth the squeeze.
It is not.
Because you're sitting there, if you eat it with a spoon, you're stabbing yourself because it's going out.
Kiwis were great when I'd go to my grandma's house and they'd be cut and served to me.
They'd be peeled and cut.
Exactly.
That's
Like everything would
like
be
a
perfect.
patat.
Exactly. But yeah, to do it myself, not a big fan.
So the integration this weekend, I like that. That was like a good clip. Like you being fully integrated right in the Matrix, enjoying the golf, the screen time.
yeah, like
it's nice to just soak in it sometimes.
it is. Like, you know me, I'm not a sports guy. Like watching hockey and football. Like I've never watched a football game. I've glanced at the Super Bowl occasionally, but I've never actually watched soccer. I don't watch sports. Well, I do, but not those team sports. I
Yeah.
watch like Formula One and golf. Like,
That's funny. You only watch non-team sports and you've always been a non-team sports guy.
yep. Even when I was a kid, I did not, like, my dad put me in soccer, put me in hockey, and they were okay, but I never looked forward to it, never cared. I wanted to snowboard solo. I love golfing solo. I'm competing against myself. How much air can I get off that ramp? Right? Skateboarding. That's like, it's your own, you're competing against yourself and you're improving yourself every day.
You still do it with other people, but no one's depending on you.
Exactly. And I don't like people to depend on me in life
No.
and in sports or anything like that. No, I don't want to owe you anything. I don't want your help. Yeah, something like that.
I wonder how that transfers into how you are. Like from like personality traits and how that helps or hurts or whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
It is what it is,
Probably
gents.
not a good thing. But anyway, okay. So quickly, before we start, we're changing it up. This week, we are doing 5 questions each. I asked my brother 5 questions. He asked me 5 questions. I have no idea what he's going to ask. He has no idea what I'm going to ask. Are they vibe or pair related? Mostly. No, I don't think so. For me, at least. And yeah, so before we start those questions, we are going to go through the top 3 vibers of the week.
Let's do it.
In third place with a 93 average, we have Katarina. Wow. Katarina, Las Vegas native. Great job. I love to see it. She's really killing it since she has come on. I don't even
Putting
think
Vegas on the map.
yeah, I don't even think she's had one blue day. So she's always been above average. Chris Sipo, second place, 95. Guys, so consistent. He's great. So Chris,
And a great commenter. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if he means to be hilarious when he comments, because it's like he writes something like so pure.
okay.
But if you have a sarcastic mind like mine, it's like, it's a great comment. But if it's also sarcastic on top of being like well-intentioned, it's like double whammy hilarious.
Okay,
So I'm always laughing out loud at his comments.
cool. Chris,
He's going to delete the app now. He's like, I'm serious.
yeah, get this out. And then in first place with a 96 average, we have Emma. And Emma, I think she's been at the top since she joined the pair. I think she's been killing it.
Yeah,
Ever since Emma showed up, Scotty's been real quiet.
Yeah.
Where you been, Scout?
Yeah, I posted on Instagram yesterday that me and Scotty tarnished the family group because all you guys were in purples. Me and him were in the blue.
Yeah. Oh, I saw, and he reposted that.
I know.
I saw a story from Scotty. I don't think Scotty has ever posted a story in the history of his whole Instagram career.
Major life events, marriages, deaths.
Marriages, deaths, birthdays, those are usually, and vacations, those are in posts. But stories, I didn't even know he knew how to post a story.
Well, as mom says, you can't teach an old dog how to cook.
Exactly.
Nice. All right, so we're getting into question time.
We're getting into question time. Let me grab my cellular mobile.
By the way, right before we started the podcast, like normally when you get here, I set things up.
Yeah.
But things were pre-set up. Like I was like, Dre's coming over. He's going to come in. It's ready to rock.
That's how I like it. I like to show up and sit down.
But once I have to wait for the microphone stand, the mic stand,
Just
for him to be there so we can adjust it. And we have this really shitty setup where these are good stands, but they have to lean forward and they're sitting on Amazon boxes.
Mm.
And I couldn't,
right there, you see it.
I couldn't get the damn microphone stand to stay where I wanted it. And it kept falling over. And then Dre started laughing.
And I'm just like, yo, move the box.
But I didn't want to show the box.
He's like, I don't want the box on the camera. I don't want the box to show. Amazon box, not professional. Literally sounded like that when he gets worked up. He goes, "I bitch."
We're up for an Oscar, man, for this podcast.
Yeah, big Oscar. Yeah, with our fancy $2 light on the back of the wall.
It's all about how you use it, man. So the microphone kept falling, and I'm under the light over there, and I'm pretty zen guy, but if my body temperature goes up, I fucking lose it.
I haven't seen you triggered like that in years.
Good. Yeah.
Good stuff.
And I was thinking about like slapping you in the face.
I would have appreciated it.
I didn't, but damn.
I wasn't even doing anything. I was just laughing at it because it's very fun to watch Michelle struggle. It's definitely
The whole family enjoys it.
Yeah, because it's rare. Anyway, let's start with one easy question. Let's start with one simple question.
All right. Hit me.
Michelle, why are you here? What do you think your purpose is on this journey of yours on this planet Earth? Ever thought about that?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
Because I honestly think about that every single day.
Great.
I write it in my notebook every single day.
Why don't you tell us this then?
So why am I here?
Yeah.
Okay.
250 characters or less.
What's the time limit? Do you have do you want the sci-fi version?
I don't care, honestly. This is just content for the podcast. So tell the class whatever you want to tell them.
So why am I here?
Maybe consider the first 15 seconds of your answer to be hype for a clip.
I can't operate like that.
Okay, I can.
That's bullshit.
All right.
That's why I rather it's a clip. It starts at this time. It ends at this time. It's 8 minutes long. Let's go. Yours can be Instagram clips. Mine will be YouTube clips.
No problem.
So why am I here? I have this story that I tell myself
Mm.
that I was born on this planet with a mission.
Mm.
Upon my birth, I forgot this mission.
Mm.
And it is part of the mission to remember, to break the chains of what you learn as a kid, to use your talents, your skill set, and your experiences to assemble all that together to finally create and accomplish your greater purpose. So I've always felt intrinsically that I was here to do something great.
Mm.
Always was. And my life experience, my nerdiness, my artisticness, my business experience that I fell into, all led me to just being a source of light and creating light for people to be able to rise up. When I used to be drunk back in the day, I used to talk to people. I used to give them like motivational speeches and shit like that. I never wanted to be that guy. I never wanted to be a leader.
Mhm.
I never wanted to do any of that, but it was always inevitable. And so why am I here? It's accepting that I'm supposed to do something.
Mhm.
I'm supposed to do something great. Like I've always wanted to, I've never wanted to deviate too far off my path. I always wanted to be better. Like I wanted to fast. I didn't want to watch porn. I did all those things, but I always knew I shouldn't.
Mm.
And as I get older and as I learn, I'm just like, you know what? All my experience or the way I think about things and the way I can communicate things, I can express to other people in helpful ways. I have no problems being vulnerable, being accountable. And when I was writing my blog back in the day or with the podcast, or even how I was with customers, it was always about like honesty and transparency and trying to be better. And in doing that, it would spark it perhaps in them as well. And so building Pair and using creativity and art and business and all these things together is like, it's doubling down. It's times a million that purpose of just being a light and being a source of light that helps illuminate those that are touched by me or the things that I create.
Cool.
So my purpose is to contribute to the vibe rays of the planet.
I like it.
And I know it obviously sounds nuts.
No.
But I really believe that.
Cool.
So that's why I'm here.
Great answer. You heard that. You're here to hear first.
Yeah. Okay. So my question,
Mm.
what would you be doing if you had $1 billion in the bank?
Why is it so hot in here?
I don't know.
I'm kidding. I just
I put the damn AC.
it's like getting smoked out. All right. Ask that question again.
What would you be doing if you had $1 billion in the bank? Other than investing it. Yeah.
I'd be spending it, trust me. All right. So the question, if I had $1 billion in the bank account right now, what would I be doing? I would be doing the exact same thing. I would be building a business, this business, but I would be doing everything on a much quicker and grander scale. So in work, we'd be building this company, but we would have many more resources to hire, to get things done, to get advisors, to travel, to do whatever we need to do. So it would just be building it on a bigger scale. And then in life, I would probably, same thing. I would just be playing with my cars. Like, I don't need to go buy a yacht or a plane. I don't need to go travel the world. Like, I'll travel more probably and more comfortably, probably with a private jet instead of commercial airlines. But I wouldn't do anything that's that different to my life right now because like I do the things that I want to do. I'm in a position in life where I don't really have to do things I don't want to do. So yeah, I would be working. I would be playing with my cars. I would be doing all the stuff that I'm still doing, just on a bigger scale with more ability to spend and buy stuff. I don't know.
Okay, so just like an accelerated or scaled up version of the exact same. It's not like you change your job, you change your
No, I'm
friends,
very
you change your
no
location.
I already have a tiny group of friends and we're very close. Yeah, I would literally just be doing the same thing. Like, I don't know. I'm building a company based off of the way I live my life already. Like, that's my business, right? So I would still be doing that. Yeah, that's it. Nothing different than what I'm currently doing, just a lot more of it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. All
I
right.
like that.
Okay, question number 2 for you, brother. Oh, this is a big one.
Bigger than why are you here?
Yeah, I wanted to start off easy. All right. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of eternity, what would it be?
One meal.
Yeah, so not one specific thing, but like one meal. And it can't be a meal of like your prison meal before you get executed. Like one meal, like a dinner meal or a breakfast meal or a lunch meal.
Okay.
Like what would be on your plate?
If I had to eat it at breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow, you could eat once a day. I don't know. One meal a day.
One meal a day. Oh man. What would it be?
Something you just don't ever get fed up of.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of like macros and stuff right now. Like I love pancakes, but if I eat pancakes, I get like depressed 30 minutes later and there's no gains in it.
Okay.
So not pancakes. Let me think. A meal that I would never get sick of. I don't know. If
there were no physical or mental repercussions.
That's a whole different question then.
Okay. So you can answer it.
Chinese food.
Panda Express all day.
All day, every day.
If there were no repercussions,
if the macros were like literally
stacked.
150 grams protein, 25 grams fat, and 250 grams carbs, boom, all day, every day.
Chinese food. Okay, done. Great. And then if it wasn't, then I know you would probably just say like chicken and rice or something.
Yeah, because that's pretty much what I do. But I have a lot of fun foods. Like I eat such a variety of mischief.
All right.
But it all works.
By the way, I had the most amazing steak last night.
What kind of steak?
New York.
Is that good?
It's amazing. Love it. All right.
Wait, I feel like I want to ask you like all the questions you asked me, but back.
No.
Okay.
That's not how this works.
Next week, ask all the questions you asked me.
That's okay.
Cool.
You can because it's I in the 1 minute that I took to think about these questions today. It was a pretty stressful minute, but now I can copy your questions.
Yo, you started strong though.
I know.
Like you had like the age-old question.
Why are you?
And I was working on Galactic Federation.
Oh,
the last couple of days.
You were in it.
And yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move down actually to my question 5. What are you most proud of? We're going deep here.
What am I most proud of? I would say I'm so proud of the way the effort I put in and the way my dog is so immaculately well trained. I think I did a great job. He doesn't beg. He walks perfectly.
He's literally
with me.
A perfect gentleman.
He's a perfect gentleman, as you would say. And that's sarcasm if you didn't
He never barks.
realize. He never barks. He doesn't chase birds. He doesn't scream at dinosaurs on the TV. I can't even watch Yellowstone because he's always barking at the horses. You know,
I was gonna be like, there's dinosaurs in Yellowstone?
no, maybe dinosaur bones.
Yeah, there were.
But yeah, what am I most proud of?
That's funny. And Lando's amazing. He's so cute. He just gets excited. He's a good dog,
He's
man.
my favorite.
He's a dog. He's not an accountant. Like,
no, man, he's awesome. He's awesome. Anyway, what am I most proud of? I think I would say I'm most proud of like the digital network that I've built for myself over the last 10 years.
All right.
I think it's cool, not in the sense of being like a popular person or anything like that, but I feel like I've been able to show the world my whole life, not my whole life, but like a good portion of my adult life through all my different experiences, right? Earlier, before getting into work in the band, like people were following the band. They loved the band. We used to tour. But we used to like play shows, do appearances, be super hype in our city. People saw that. And then dad died, our whole life changed. And then everyone saw that era. And then, oh, we got to go to work because we're going to be poor. So go to work. Oh, become a businessman. Oh, you're like a super business guy. And you're in that, that was that era. And then you sold the business and then you were kind of just investor guy or just chilling. And then, yeah. So like seeing that and then building a whole network based off of the cars and everything I've done, I think that's a cool thing. And yeah, I'd say that I'm pretty proud of that. Proud of the
because you've been honestly sharing your really kind of your journey.
Yeah, always.
And you've always fully committed to every chapter of your journey.
Yeah.
And that is, and you've always been good at like just networking and not even networking, just getting people to be interested.
Yeah.
People are just interested in you. I
guess. I do interesting things. I don't live such an interesting life these days, but I know like, especially back in the day, I was doing a lot of the stuff to build that network and that brand, right? Like I was going through old notes from like 6-7 years ago. And I was looking through my notes and I was like, it was when I just started my big car Instagram page. And I was like, okay, these are all the events going on in the first 3 months of the year. And I hit every single event. I planned every event. Okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to meet person. I'm going to do this video with this person. Okay, I'm going to fly to this event. This is going to target a Formula One audience. This is going to target a Porsche audience. This is going to target a BMW. I really like planned and mapped it all out and it all worked. Right? So I think that's kind of cool.
I think it's super cool.
Also, at the same time, I just want to make as much money as I can in the smallest amount of time possible and then really disappear when it's time to build a family.
Hey, that's cool.
I kind of want to do that. I say that now, maybe later it'll change, but that's kind of it. Anyway.
Well, you kind of went to another one of my questions. Well,
it's my turn now.
All right. This is fun.
So that's that. You can eat your meal. Easy question. 5 years from today, where do you see yourself? What are you doing? How are you living?
5 years from now, I'll be doing probably the same thing I was doing 5 years ago, which is very much like what I'm doing now is creating awesome things with awesome people.
Cool.
So 5 years from now, it's definitely a scaled up version of Pear. It's being in the lab and putting out products that touch the world. Like really, that's when I was doing it with my music, and then the podcast, and now with Pear, and then Pear Kids, which will be the Galactic Federation of Time Travelers. I just want to be doing that kind of stuff.
Cool.
I just want to be using my kooky imagination to put real things into
the world.
And it's just extremely fun for me to do. Like if you fast forward like 9 years ago, I was doing mix notes all day on like the songs that I was working on.
You've always been creating.
I've always been obsessively, compulsively creating.
Yeah, if you were not working, you were creating. If both of those weren't even, like sometimes they were together.
Yeah, but even in the business, I was creating new future products.
Yeah. You were always doing something.
Always doing something. And the through line with everything I'm doing is I always want to do something that doesn't yet exist. If you ask Hormozi, he's going to tell you that's the worst business model ever. Go into businesses that are established and run and make sense and have proven models.
We like to take the hard road.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in it because I'm 38 and the universe keeps providing whenever I need it. And I will just continue to create stuff. And it seems like all of my past things that I think that maybe I abandoned, they're actually just all merging. Like all the things, it's like music, business, art, all those things, they're merging into this thing that can only happen now. And so in the next 5 years, that's what I see.
Okay, cool. Your turn.
Oh. Okay. What would you say to your 22-year-old self?
Oh.
You can give context if you want.
It doesn't even matter what I would say to my 22-year-old self because he would not listen. That kid would not listen to anybody. You could put anybody in front of him, he is not listening. He's going to do whatever he thinks is right. I was very stubborn at 22 years old.
To be fair, you know how to speak in a way that gets people to react. So I'm sure your 35-year-old self, you're 35?
Yeah.
Would know how to play that 22-year-old kid.
Yes. I tell him the right things to keep him in line for sure.
Yeah, but what would you tell him? Because that was
okay. What I would tell my 22-year-old self, stop partying is what I think, yeah, stop partying. Go to a bar, stay sober for a month, and a month later, go back to that bar or club with the group of friends you were with. Stay sober and see how they're acting. And when you see that, you're never going to want to drink or go out or party or do all that stuff again. And with me, I'm not saying drinking or going out and partying is a bad thing. It's fun to do and let loose, especially when you're a kid. But that was a result of heavy ego, making dumb decisions. When you're drunk every day, you're making drunk decisions every day. So you're making drunk decisions that are kind of bankrupting you. They're costing you a fortune. You're living through this ego light, right? And yeah, so I would just be like, yo, stop the partying and build a business with cars is what I would tell them. At 22, build a business, something with cars, because that will be a great thing for you. That's where you need to be. Do something with cars. It wasn't health back then. That's for sure.
No, it wasn't. But
the one thing that has remained very, very consistent from the time I was 10 to the time I'm now, 25 years later, is cars. My joy and excitement for cars has only grown, not faded, right? So 22 years old, before starting business, getting into manufacturing, taking over family business, starting new business, it would be cars. I don't know what it would be. At the time, I think YouTube was just starting, right? It was just a little thing. So like being a big car YouTuber, like couldn't tell myself that because nobody was doing it. So I didn't know. But it would be something with cars. And we definitely had a lot of those at our disposal back then. So yeah, something.
And at 22, you had no dad. You were now in control of your own destiny.
Yes.
Right? There was no one holding the guardrails on you.
No, I could do whatever I want at 22 after my dad died.
And if someone said, you know what? Like your future self literally beamed in. It was like, Dre, fuck this garage door stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Go build a car business sober.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to live the greatest life you ever lived.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I would tell him. I'd say like, don't party, don't drink, build a business with something car related.
I think so. Because anytime you've ever done first of all, anytime you were sober, that was like the acceleration point.
Yeah.
It would have saved 8 years.
And a lot of money.
And millions.
Yeah.
And anytime you did anything with cars, it was like the path of least resistance because it was so purely tied to your soul and your love.
Oh yeah, totally.
So that's like an amazing answer.
Anytime I've ever built my cars or done anything with cars or brought them to events or whatever, it was always very easy. It was just me doing what I wanted to do. And people seem to really enjoy what I do to the cars and where I take them and all that stuff. And I do it probably better than a lot of people. But yeah, you were trying to convince me for a long time to be like do car YouTube and stuff like that, but I was not in the mindset for it. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want cars. At the same time today, I'm like, if I was 22 starting a business back then, yeah, that's one thing. But like today also, how would I explain it? Is like,
well, today's different. You were speaking to your 22-year-old self.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know that you literally just saying that to your 22-year-old self, time travel faxed that input to that 22-year-old.
Which could change the course of today's future, which innately could make me start a car business soon.
Who knows?
Who knows? So anyway, that's what I would tell my 22-year-old self. Stop partying, start a business, something car related.
I absolutely love it.
Don't waste away in the family business, killing your soul.
Yeah.
Hanging out with old people.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That was a great answer. So, yeah, that was my question.
Oh,
Yeah.
now it's my turn.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got here? What was the lowest vibe day you've ever had in your life? Like,
Wow.
what's a day where everything sucked from the moment you woke up? Like, not necessarily a vibe score that we have today, but like, what was like a low point or like the worst day or something, like where I'm thinking of one for you, but I want you to answer and I want to see if we have the same thing in our head.
I've had some low days for sure.
Yeah.
I need to think about that. There's a few.
You can only say one. Like, where's one where you felt like a real loser? Like you felt like there was no hope, nothing's going on, like everything is going
I've done
wrong.
such a good job of blocking a lot of things out of my memory
Yeah, well,
that finding them might require your help. Oh man. The lowest. Okay, where did I feel like
maybe, I don't know if this is the lowest. I'll give you a hint. One time you called someone, a friend of ours, collect.
that wasn't a low day?
Oh, okay.
That was like a high vibe day.
Oh, okay.
That was just a really funny story.
Oh, it's we don't have to
No, I was hungover, but I didn't feel low.
Okay, so a low day.
That was no a low day where I was like man, there's gotta be, because that was like that wasn't a low day. And I'll until I find it, I'll explain that story a little bit. It was my birthday. I was 23. I went out with our dear friend Derek Masari for dinner at Ribbon Reef.
Nice.
And
Had a couple stogies.
yeah, we started at like 3 p.m. Had steaks, scotches, stogies. I would always pass out when I was drunk. So I like fell asleep in the cigar lounge. And
Yeah.
my dad said, you guys have been out all day. Do me a favor. Don't get a lift home.
Yeah, he didn't care that you were out getting drunk for your birthday.
No, he was still kind of miffed, but he said, just take a taxi home. And I let our friend drive us home. And he was relatively fine, I guess.
Yeah,
And he
in your
dropped me
drunken
off.
state, you thought.
Yeah. And he dropped me off at my grandmother's house. And the next day, I was like so hungover. I forgot my phone at the restaurant, my glasses, my wallet. I had no car. And I got into the office and my dad's like, oh, look who it is. And he just like ripped into me. He's like, what did I tell you? I told you not to go.
I remember that was a long time ago. Like that was like 15 years ago. More maybe. And you were doing that, but I was also out partying that night before too. You were out at Ribbon Reef with D-Money. It was a Wednesday. I was at McKibben's Irish Pub getting liquored with the boys on a Wednesday.
Yeah, living the dream.
And I think we both slept at our grandma's house because we were living in the countryside, like 40 minutes away from society. So you were out downtown. I was out in the West
Yeah,
Island.
that was our spot.
And then we'd crash at grandma's house. And so I
Shout out, yeah.
yeah, I believe I was there. But anyway, whatever.
Okay, so I told my dad that I had school that day. And he said, how are you going to get to school today? I didn't have school, by the way.
You just didn't want to go to work.
I said, yeah, I just wanted to go home and like watch Ancient Aliens and eat pizza. And he said, I said, I'm going to take the company truck to work, to school. And he said, no, you're not. You're going to take the fucking bus. Me, like spoiled kid, I've never taken the bus. I took the bus once for karate in high school because it was cool. You know, I never took the bus.
Yeah, you didn't even know how to take
I didn't even know how to take the bus. So I left the office and I walked about, 5 miles to the Marché de l'Ouest.
to a market.
To a market, because at least I could walk there, and it was cold. It's March in Montreal.
Yeah, it's true.
But I was so hungover that the cold felt amazing. It felt relieving. I went into the Marché de l'Ouest, and it's all these old people hanging out, like playing chess or whatever they do. Nothing's open. And I see Donnie driving. Keep in mind, I have no wallet, no phone,
Nothing.
no keys, nothing. And I have to get to school because I forgot to mention, my dad told me, go to school, take a picture.
Oh, he told you to take a picture.
Yeah. He said, go take a picture. So this is not the worst vibe, babe. It's the dumbest vibe.
Okay.
Okay. So I saw Donnie's car. I knew his phone number because back in the day, you remembered people's phone numbers.
Mhm.
and I had no money. So I called Collect.
Collect is when you would go on a payphone, you couldn't pay for it, so the person you were calling had to pay for it.
Exactly.
It was like 25 cents,
But
so
what-
nobody cared.
But I had a hack, and I would always do this with my mom when I was a kid to pick up hockey.
Uh-huh.
It's like, hey, Mom, it's Mish, come pick me up from the arena. Bye. Like, you have a message from, hey, Mom, it's Mish from the arena. Come pick me up. Bye. So she wouldn't have to accept the $1 charge or whatever it was.
25 cents.
So I did that to Donnie,
Mhm.
and he came and picked me up. And he said, yo,
Rough night.
you looking rough, Stains.
Stains.
So I was looking rough. And I said, Donnie,
We used to call him Stainer because he would always wear a gray t-shirt when we'd go out, like an idiot. And I don't know, always there was a
Stain.
stain here because you'd spill his drink or someone would bump into you. And like a white shirt, fine, you don't see it. A black shirt, you don't see it. Navy blue, no. But this guy, like a heather gray shirt, you could see
my
the
gray
most.
V-neck.
Yeah, the gray V-neck
Yeah, from American Apparel.
with your long ass hair.
Yeah, my long hair. Rest in peace.
Anyway, okay, so that was a story.
No, it's not done yet.
Okay, maybe finish it because we have a long podcast here.
That's okay. It's entertaining.
All right.
This is entertainment.
I just don't want it to close.
It's not going to close, man. So Donnie picks me up. He drives me first to Derek's house to pick up my phone and my glasses and my wallet. And then Donnie brought me to his store where one of our friends, George from Austria, was storing a completely beat up 1995 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Oh, with broken muffler.
It had no muffler.
Mm.
So when you started it, it sounded like a NASCAR
Yeah.
that blew black smoke out of it constantly. So Donnie said, this is the only car I got for you, but if you need to take that picture, go for
The
it.
loner.
The loaner. So I got into that 95 Jeep. I drove to Concordia University. I parked at my normal parking lot guy.
Oh,
And
you must-
normally I parked there with my Beamer. And he's like, bro, what happened?
Was it the guy we know?
Yeah.
Rafi?
Yeah.
That's Psycho?
It was Rafi's guy.
Rafi's guy.
Rafi may have been there. I don't know. I said, listen, man, I'm just going to leave this here for 50. He's like, bro, you can't leave a car like this here. Not because I don't want to leave it here, but it's noise pollution, man. You're going to get arrested. So I went into some rando class, took a selfie with my V1 iPhone, got back in the car and drove home.
Okay, great.
Drove all the way to Hudson. And that night, I told my dad that school went well. He got the picture and we all laughed about it at night. And it was a great story. But
Amazing.
one of the lowest days maybe was maybe one of those days in China
Oh, yeah.
where we were visiting some manufacturers and I just wasn't into it anymore. I was checked out of that lifestyle.
Mhm.
It was for work, but I had realized that it was just a monumental waste of time, at least for me in that time.
Time, money, soul, effort.
So I was just angry. I was drinking. I was getting angry. I was like fighting.
We even had like meetings at a factory and stuff like that and like a lunch after. And you stayed back at the hotel. You're like, I'm not coming.
I got
like,
a fucking
we're literally
cold
in
sore on my lip. I was so stressed and angry and violent.
I was like, we're literally in China. Like, we came here to work. Can't stay at the hotel. He's like, I don't ever want to come. And you never went back. I think I went on a trip after that solo to China.
I don't know. I thought it was rinky dink. I didn't. My
and
morals,
it's the Chinese. Nothing wrong with the Chinese, but the way they did business back then, the way they dealt with customers from America was very old school. And a lot of the people that would go visit were also very old.
yeah. So it was
65
like,
plus. So like the way they would entertain people was not the way we liked to be entertained or wanted to be entertained.
it was like constant. And this was at a point where I was fed up with drinking and it was just all about booze and brothels and like it was nasty business. And I was like starting to find myself, and I was like, this is not good, and I don't want it.
Okay.
So that was one of those days.
Doing business in China. Fair.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with China. Just like,
No, when you were in China doing that
yeah,
business,
it
you
just didn't make sense anymore.
cool. All right.
All right,
Your
so
turn. Thank you for that long answer.
how have you changed in the last 5 years?
How have I changed in the last 5 years? I would say my personality hasn't changed. My lifestyle definitely had to change a little bit because I sold the business and then COVID hit and then the world went weird and crazy. And I was like, I don't want to live in Canada. I don't want to be governed by these people. So we basically used all of our money and resources to get the entire family to move to a different country. So all the comfort and coziness that we had was no longer. Pull money out of investments, pay lines of credit to be able to come here. So I was a rich man that left Canada, and I am a normal man living in America right now. But so that's what's changed in the last 5 years was not as comfortable as I always was, not as many resources as I always had. So that humbled me a little bit, made me a little more empathetic to the people in the world, because when you live a certain way, like rich, do whatever the heck you want, go to the club back in the day, spend 10 grand every weekend, it replenished in the bank account, right? It was just a constant well being replenished. So after selling the business, we had to be a lot smarter, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. So it was just I could go and buy a car every month, no problem. Doesn't matter what the car is, right? Now I have to consider my purchases. I have to think what I'm doing. I'm building a new business. So resources are not like I had a house, I had everything like that. Now we spent millions of dollars moving here, and the rest of our resources are going into building this new business. So is it like, oh, I want a new car, or I want a new employee to be able to build this business? So that's why I actually have to just think about what I'm doing. And that humbled me a lot. And it also showed me that I can live a way more simpler than I ever did back in the day. I don't need a lot to be happy. I always was able to buy everything I wanted. So I would go to the store, buy whatever I want, order online, house, cars, whatever, it didn't matter,
Yeah.
Whereas I would do that before. And now if I do that and I buy something, like, it's cool, but I realized having everything you want doesn't matter. So I literally sold everything. And I live a lot simpler. I don't care about materials. Like, I love cars and stuff, but I don't care to be wearing the most expensive designer shirts and shoes, right? 5, 6, 7 years ago, I'd probably be wearing a pair of $1,000 shoes. Now I'm wearing $40 Vans. I don't care. So I think my ego and the people's opinions of me, perceptions of me, I used to care more. And I always wanted to live up to this like lifestyle and put on this show. Now I really just don't care, right? So,
And you're seeing that it never mattered in the first place.
no, it didn't, but I didn't know anything back then, right?
Yeah, because that's your baseline.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what's changed is I just had to be a lot more humble. I got humbled because I had to live a much more normal lifestyle. And it's still better than, not better, but it's still,
Still blessed.
I'm still blessed. I'm still way more blessed than 99% of people, right? I could still wake up and do whatever I want. If I don't want to work today, I don't have to work today. So that's that. But yeah, definitely the change of lifestyle, the amount of money we had to spend to move the whole family, that was a big change.
Yeah.
It was a big change, but I honestly don't even care because we're building a big business. We have a lot of great things and blessings coming towards us. And everything I'm doing right now is to build the world that I want to live in. And that's it.
It's made you better too.
Oh yeah, totally. So,
Love that.
okay, final question for you, brother. What will you do to celebrate 100,000 users on Pair?
Oh,
What will you do?
that is a great question.
And the goal is to have that within 1 year from today. So
Better get cracking, Zelik.
yeah. So what do? We get 100,000 users on our platform of wellness and epicness.
Okay.
What do you do to celebrate 100,000 users?
Other than ordering Papa John's stuffed crust,
Gross.
we will have a huge party. I want to have a big party.
Okay. The Pair party.
The Pair party.
It might not even be called Pair a year from now, but for now, we'll say it's the Pair party.
I think we should have a huge celebration.
Okay.
A huge celebration where I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to be popping wellness shots like crazy.
Yeah, wellness shots. We'll have like Steve Aoki. There'll be music.
Cool.
We're gonna have all of our users, as many as possible, to come join us and just have an amazing, amazing celebration. Because 100,000 users will show us that like we've built something. We're on the way. It's impacting people's lives, and I think we should celebrate that.
Awesome.
So I would love to have like an amazing celebration.
Where would that be? Like, would you have a party here in Arizona? Or would you go back to Montreal and have a party where you know everybody? Would you, at 100,000 users, does that mean you have enough money to be able to fly everyone to one destination and have a party there?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know where it would be.
Cool.
But I don't think it would be in Montreal.
Good idea. All right. Good to know.
Yeah.
So 100,000 users, party.
Yeah, we're gonna have a party and like a high vibe party. You know,
Well,
like
so
everyone's got to be out by 8.
Well, yeah,
It's a day party.
the best kind.
Yeah, a day party in a beautiful place. Maybe in where's that place that we went to in between
Palm
LA?
Springs?
Palm Springs.
Bro, a nice desert party
Nice desert party.
in the Coachella area. One of those nice little old school Palm Springs, little boutique hotels, little pool area.
Yeah, I think we should have a party because like we're gonna need to blow off some steam because it's like we sold the business in 2019 and it's been
It's been a hell of a ride.
it's been a haul.
It has been. Okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
Very good. So you have, I think,
And at 1 million, everyone goes to space because we will have unlocked another time portal.
speaking of space, apparently Katy Perry went to space yesterday.
No way.
Yeah. Blue Origin.
Oh.
I'm not buying it.
Oh,
I'm not buying any of the space stuff. I'm not a flat earther or anything, but my rule is I'm only going to believe it if I can see it with my own eyes. I don't believe pictures anymore.
no. So how do you believe Wi-Fi?
The router.
Router and the signal.
Yeah, it was like someone was like, if I go back in time,
That comedian, that clean comedian.
that clean comedian, and he was talking about if I go back in time, he's like, I still can't even get rich. How do I create the internet? I know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not going to create Amazon.
But how do I do it?
Yeah.
Right. So that's that. Okay. You have one more question. and then
Okay,
we're done.
One more question. So I have 2 options here.
It's not that deep.
Do you miss? Actually, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
You're copying my question?
No, I had it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We'll stick with my original one.
How many questions did you write down?
14?
Really?
No, I'm kidding. It's just 6. Do you miss living in a world with no responsibility?
Yes.
Well, I guess that wraps up episode 17.
No, I'll answer the other
Yeah.
question. But yeah, who wants responsibilities? Like, if I could live in a world without responsibility, that would be great. But like at the same time, I believe we are put on this world to be responsible in a certain way, which leads me to the next actual question. Where do I see myself in 10 years? In 10 years, I am going to be doing similar things to what I'm doing today. However, I will have a family with children, anywhere between 2 and 5 of them, and a giant, not necessarily a giant house, an awesome house on a giant property, some animals, some chickens. I'll be playing with a lot of cars. I will most likely, 10 years from now, I will definitely be a member at the Thermal Club, which is a private racetrack, and spend my weekends racing cars, taking my kids to the racetrack, stuff like that. That's where I see myself in 10 years. Most likely having sold hair or sold a business.
Cool.
And probably not retired, but like not actively running like a huge business, mostly just taking the money I've made and investing it and living a very cozy and very chill life.
Love that.
That's what I see myself in 10 years.
That's great. Well, your present self just told your future self.
Yeah. This guy asks questions that are an inception of manifestation. So I like that. Guy's creative.
Nice. It's unintentional too. But hey, what is intentional or unintentional?
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, this was a different version of the podcast where we ask ourselves or ask each other questions. If you liked this, then maybe we're going to ask you guys to ask us questions. And they don't have to be about vibes or business or anything like that. It could be about anything, because any conversation we're having is a high vibe conversation.
Totally.
I believe, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And anyway, from this part of town, my name is Andy. This is my brother Mish. And we are checking out for the day. We're going to see you same time, same place next week on the Major Vibes Show. Cheers.
Have a great one.